There's a lot of amazing watch brands out there, but when it comes to value, nothing beats what you could find on AliExpress. I get it though, not everyone is into Chinese watch brands, especially with all the copycat homages that are floating around. But today we're taking a look at 12 of the best Ali watches with unique, original designs. Aside from making the best quality watches on Ali, San Martin also makes some of the best original designs, and I think this is where they shine the most. It's one thing to reinterpret an existing watch and give it the San Martin twist, but to come up with a whole new style is always a bit more exciting. That's what they've done with the SN0129. There are 4 options to choose from, 2 of which have fully loomed out bezels that shine as bright as a flashlight. It's pretty crazy, and for those of you who are into loom, you need this one in your life. But this watch isn't a one-trick pony. This dial is made of enamel, a material we usually see on like Grand Seiko level watches, and the detailing is wildly impressive. The close-ups show what I'm talking about. The hands and hour markers look so good, and the contrasting brushing and polishing on the case and bracelet is signature San Martin. What I love so much about this model is how it has the dive watch look we all love, but executed with a bit more of that special sauce to make it unique and stand out from the crowd of divers. The 41mm case is a great option for anyone with slightly larger wrists or for those who like more wrist presence than say a 37 or 38mm. And yeah, this one also has the new on-the-fly adjustable clasp. All in, the price comes to just $200, one of the best bargains on Ali. Watchdives is one of the most popular brands on AliExpress. In the past year, they've been totally crushing it with cool designs and really great build quality. The WD6542 is one of their newest watches with 2 colors to choose from, black and white, both in a gorgeous GMT layout. There's so many cool details I love about this one. Not only is the bubble domed crystal made of sapphire, but also the curved bezel insert, so it gives off a really interesting shine and depth that takes the watch to another level. I also like the Jubilee style bracelet and old school vibes. When Seiko released their GMT automatic movement, the NH34, it was a real game changer, allowing watch brands to come out with affordable multi-time zone automatic watches. And this one from Watchdives is one of my new favorites. This watch has a classy design, fun combination of colors, and a great everyday gata. Instead of the traditional coin edge we see often, it's cool how WD went with more industrial design, giving the watch its own unique touch. At 38mm in diameter, it will wear super comfortably, have plenty of wrist presence, but balanced and look great. For $150, you can't go wrong with this one. Seagull is not only one of the largest manufacturers of watch movements in the world, they also make really cool watches, including one of the best divers on AliExpress. There's a whole slew of colors to choose from, like the classic black and blue, along with some extra spicy options like baby blue and mint green, each with a black bezel that ties it all together nicely. This is one of those timepieces that's a great example on what Chinese watches are all about. Incredible build quality, but still at affordable prices. This is a bit of a beefier watch at 44mm in diameter, so do keep that in mind, but it is well proportioned with 13 in thickness and 50mm in total length. I love the design choices with the syringe style hands, the red tip seconds hands, and the matte finished bezel insert. I'm not always a fan of the Cyclops date window, but it works really well in this format, and it's quality, not a blurry or over-magnified one. I also really like the bezel design. It uses a coin edge, but alternates with a few sections cut out every 15 minutes, giving the watch even more of a unique character. Some of the colors that are available are new, so they are a bit more expensive. The black and blue are the OG colorways and cost $221. The others range between $271 and $293. This watch is a bit pricier than a lot of the others we're looking at, but you are getting a serious tool watch. Anyone who's ventured down the rabbit hole of AliExpress watches, I'm sure has come across Addiesdive. And whether or not you've tried their watches, stop thinking about it and buy one. And while you're at it, get this newest release, the AD2513. This watch basically takes everything I like about a few different dive watches and combines them into one awesome design. The grainy textured dial really elevates the watch and add the gradient effect where it darkens towards the edges. It has a lot of character and definitely looks more expensive than it costs. There are 3 color options available, and to be honest, they all are home runs. The blue and red are a bit more vibrant, but because of the way it's executed, it's subtle enough to not stand out too much, and then this gray dial is a total banger. This watch might go down as my top 5 of all of 2025, and we're barely halfway through the year. This watch has that classic diver case, 3-link steel bracelet, and solid protection, and then a unique play of colors and textures to make it special. For $46, this is an easy yes. Certain brands on Ali focus on one particular style of watch, and it makes sense wanting to, especially when you look at Baltany and all their vintage-inspired watches. They're packed with awesome specs, great build quality, and look super cool. One of my faves is this Explorer-looking everyday watch that comes in either black or blue, both with a really nice sunburst effect. I will note they call the blue enamel purple, but there's not much purple about it, so let's just chalk it up as blue. Powering the little engine is a Swiss quartz movement, so timekeeping will be better than pretty much every automatic you own, and this helps the watch maintain a super thin profile, which is only 10.2 millimeters. So enjoy wearing this watch with all that comfort. There's just something really classy and refined about Baltany's watches. They put out some thoughtful designs like this one, and as you can see, the polished applied hour markers are made really well, and the hands are clean, great cuts, along with the color match date window. They've dotted the I's and crossed the T's. You could get this one on the steel bracelet or the vintage-looking leather strap. One of my favorite details, though, is the date window at the 6, making this watch a bit different and not just a straight-up homage. It might be inspired by other designs, but it has plenty of details to make it a Baltany. The price is $176. Whenever there's a big sale, it's always a great opportunity to pick up a San Martin, so if I'm throwing a few at you today, it's for good reasons. The SN0132 is a bit of a sleeper watch, but it's one of my favorites. SM has basically taken the pilot watch and turned it upside down with a ton of really awesome details that make this watch a bit unique and an absolute banger. I'm in love with all three colors, the black, gray, and white, and how they look with the sandy, grainy textured matte finish. This one really looks like a tool watch, a bit refined and super stylish, but really rugged, and what I'd imagine an actual pilot flying a jet would wear. It is powered by an automatic and includes all the great specs and protection you could find on a San Martin. Legit water resistance, high quality sapphire crystal, and the latest and greatest build quality, whether that's the brushing and polishing or the on-the-fly micro-adjustable clasp. I do wish everyone can experience at least one San Martin in their life, though that could be a bad thing because once you do, you'll start to question everything, like why other big-name brands charge so much for their watches. All in, this one is priced at $194. One of the most popular Gata watches on Ali is the birch dial three-hander from Kronos, but they've just come out with a new dial that I think is even better. They call this texture frosted, which does seem fitting. This watch still comes in the two OG colorways, white and gray, and I think this new update works better than the birch because it's a bit simpler. The birch is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's more pronounced, and that could be a good thing or bad. Just depends on your taste. This new frosted option looks a bit warmer and balanced. Plays perfectly with the overall style of the watch. Kronos is another leader in quality and offers all the great specs like sapphire crystals, on-the-fly adjustable clasps, and insane finishing, which you could see on the polished chamfered edges along the case. It also uses the PT5000 automatic movement instead of the common NH series, so accuracy will be better and it allows the watch to be super thin at just 10.8 mil. Yeah, a really slim profile, which I always think helps make for a better wearing experience. This watch is just a total vibe and a real stunner. Arguably one of the best Gatas you could buy under $200. And speaking of money, the price comes to $179. There's something about a vintage-looking military watch that always catches my eye, and I really like this chronograph from Sugess. This watch is all about owning its identity, which is a tool watch through and through. It's not trying to be pretty, and aside from the polished chamfered lugs, there's no other polished sections at all, and I really appreciate that, especially for this style of watch. And the build quality is awesome, as expected from Sugess. The bezel insert is made of ceramic, there's tons of super bright lume on the dial and bezel, and it's powered by a mechanical movement which is quite difficult and expensive to build in automatic chrono, but props to Seagull for making this an option. This model comes in a black and blue colorway, but there's another option that might be my favorite, and that's kind of crazy because I don't normally gravitate towards rose gold watches. But this one plays hard, especially paired with the blue dial and bezel. And taking this watch to a whole nother level is the display case back, showing off the mechanical movement in all its glory, looking awesome AF. At $178, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better looking and better made mechanical chrono at this price point. As you can see, San Martin has been quite busy this year, releasing a ton of fun, unique watches that lean heavily into the original territory, and another hit is the SN0053. Everything about this design works so well and has a ton of that cool factor. The arrow-shaped hands, the fixed polished bezel, and the Jubilee-style bracelet. It all flows nicely, looking like a tool watch, but refined and classy. Perhaps it's the sunburst dial. It always amazes me how nice San Martin's watches are, and usually we don't see their newest releases below $200 price range, but this one after a discount is, so that's a win-win. I'm not sure what it is about this brown dial, but I think I prefer it over the blue, which is crazy since I'm a sucker for a nice blue dial. It gives off copper and almost black colors depending on lighting and angle. Just a really cool, special dial. These macro shots are wildly impressive. San Martin does have their own manufacturing, and they've really dialed in their tooling and machine work. Their attention to details is unrivaled, as well as the specs they offer for the prices they charge. All in, this watch comes to $286. This next watch is without a doubt the most inexpensive we are looking at today, but don't let that price tag fool you. This watch is well made and looks really nice. If you like yellow, red, or green, they've got you covered. But if you prefer a more versatile dial like gray or blue, they've got that as well. This is a great looking three-hander with a day-date function that's powered by a really accurate Japanese quartz movement. You have the option of either a steel bracelet or a textured rubber strap, each giving the watch a bit of a different personality. Rubber looks more casual and sporty, while the steel has a more formal and dressier appearance. The dimensions on this one is pretty much perfect, especially for a daily driver. 40 mil in diameter, 47 in total length, and only 9.5 mil in thickness. I love the thin profile and how that wears and looks on the wrist. The circular brushing on the case looks great with the contrasting polished fixed bezel on top, and those applied hour markers are a great combination with the beveled hands. It's all a super good vibe for a super affordable price of $33. For anyone who's into old school, super charming watches, this is definitely the one for you. The SN0116 is packed with great specs, great finishing, and has a really cool vintage design. This watch comes in two color options, as well as with a steel beads of rice bracelet or a leather strap. It's cool how San Martin has given the bezel insert and dial a bit of a distressed appearance, fueling that faux patina look. It's subtle and just the right amount to give the design a ton of style. San Martin always nails it when it comes to the little details like the execution on the dial, the polished chamfers along the edges of the lugs, and crazy quality on the bracelet, which includes an on-the-fly micro-adjustable clasp. Inside the 39.5mm case is the tried and tested NH35 auto movement, and like all SM watches, there's a thick sapphire crystal and great water resistance. The different angles, downward sloping beveled lugs, the quality of this watch is as good as it gets, not just on AliExpress, but anywhere at this price point or anywhere near it. After the discount, the price is $215. What I really like about Sugess is they focus a lot on chronographs and dressier, more sophisticated watches with cool complications. This 1963 Pilot Chrono is a great example on what they're all about. Great looks, classic design, and mechanical movements that can be seen through the exhibition caseback. You do have a few different options on the dial color. There's white, black, and champagne. And even cooler is the option of either a 38 or 40mm case. Chronographs can wear slightly larger because of the pusher, so keep that in mind. I absolutely love this timeless design. A Panda dial always looks good, and add the great finishing and specs, you've got a real winner here. Powering the engine is the Seagull ST1901 mechanical movement, and it looks amazing. It's wild how all the little pieces come together to power a watch just by winding it from time to time. This is a big reason why I got into watches in the first place, along with the fact that they just look super cool. After the discount, the watch comes to $119. That's it for the watches today. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at 12 of my favorites on AliExpress. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.